Dak Prescott finally has said, and it's alleged that he's going to sign his franchise tag for $31.4 million guaranteed dollars next year. That is so much money, so much money, but not enough money to make up for what Dak Prescott has been able to do for the Dallas Cowboys the last 4 years as an underpaid starter who actually drove Tony Romo to the broadcast booth. Congrats, America. We should be thanking Dak Prescott for giving us the gift that is Tony Romo in the booths on Sundays and on Thursdays and whenever the hell else he calls anything. So I think Dak Prescott is at this point where, and I said this since the beginning, if I saw, I did get franchise tagged. And the number was like $2.5 million or $2.75 million or something like that. And as soon as I saw that piece of paper that said, you are guaranteed to get $2.75 million in the next 365 days, I signed that thing as fast as I possibly could. I was in Canada. For Nick Morato's little brother's 19th birthday. And I said, send that thing over. I'll fax it back. I do not want to get any Canadian tax on this thing, but I would like to lock that son of a bitch in as fast as we possibly can before they decide to rip it up. Dak Prescott, obviously in a much different position than me. Dak Prescott, if he was to become a free agent, would be able to get all the monies from somewhere, not right now, but at the beginning of free agency, all the money somewhere. He has done a lot more for the Cowboys than I could ever and had ever done for the Indianapolis Colts. But I don't know how you look at a piece of paper that says $31.4 million guaranteed and say, nah, I don't want it. And then you start thinking a little bit deeper and a little bit bigger. Then you hear the thoughts that Patrick Mahomes could potentially get $200 million guaranteed. Dak Prescott's hearing that. Just had his best year last year. They could have had the contract done before last season. They said, nah, we'll make him prove it. He goes out and has his best year yet. And he's like, listen, give me my money. So now he's signing the $31.4 million. Everybody's saying it's because he's getting a read on the temperature of the world that we're in and the potential no fans and who knows what's going to happen to the salary cap going forward and all that stuff. He wants to make sure he locks in for 31.4. But will the Cowboys and Dak be able to negotiate a long-term deal after this? Is this Dak Prescott saying to Jerry, listen, I am investing in the Cowboys. I'm giving you at least another year with this deal. I would like to see you do it in return. Let's, in good faith, have a conversation here until July 15th when it's cut off. When you sign a franchise tag, July 15th, you can no longer have contract negotiations with the team until the end of the year whenever there's another opening period. So once you sign that franchise tag, it isn't like all year if Dak has a great first 5 games, they can be like, hey, let's rip this up and let's go bigger. That's not the way it works. They would have to get a deal done by July 15th or without it ever happening. Will they be able to do so? I'm just not 100% sure if that's the case or not. But I'm happy they got a quarterback and Dak Prescott back. Dallas Cowboys seem to be good. They can sign Jamal Adams still with that $10 million. They can trade for Jamal Adams and still afford him. The Cowboys are setting up to potentially build quite a monster down there. It's just whether or not Dak will be happy to be there whenever he finally gets there. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now, let's get back to the fornicating action.
My question to you is, so people are saying that he's signing the franchise tender because of the uncertainty going on with COVID and everything like that, potentially no fans, lower salary cap next year. But wouldn't you maybe, if you're Dak, take a little bit less per year to get maybe a $75, $80, $90 million guaranteed contract for the 5 years that the Cowboys want, so that you know that you have that much guaranteed versus next year if you go back into negotiations, everything falls apart. You have no idea what the offer is going to be.
Yeah, this goes back to Andrew Luck. When Andrew Luck was about to become a free agent, I said, Andrew feels like a guy he lives conservatively enough. The guy rode bikes around. He didn't have like flashy cars. He didn't have he was very conservative. The way he lived was not that of a man who needed $100 or $200 million. I thought there was a chance that he was going to be a guy who was going to say, hey, give me less money, let's make it guaranteed, and then build up a line around me, build up a team around me. And you're putting a lot of faith now in the team to do that with the money that you are choosing not to take, right? I always thought that was going to happen. I was like, maybe Andrew's the guy that'll do that. Maybe, say, hey, I see what's going on with all these rookie contracts and these underpaid quarterbacks, how they're building a team around, and we can maybe do that. And then I was informed quickly, like, well, the NFLPA would never let you do that because once you do that, they're going to expect the next player to do that and the next player to do that. It's your job to kind of raise the minimum as much as you possibly can. keep it going, raise the bar. So I'm not sure if Dak would ever do that or even be allowed to do that, especially with the representation that he hired that's known for getting as much money as possible from the teams. But if I get a fully guaranteed contract for over $110 million, and it's going to be hard not to sign, especially if you're the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, because when you're the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, you're getting every endorsement that you could possibly want. And with Mike McCarthy coming in, who has done wonders with quarterbacks and offenses, Dak, we might not even have come close to seeing the best Dak yet, which is why Dak is potentially thinking, if I have to bet on myself one more time, I'll do it. But do we think that Dak stays with the Dallas Cowboys if he plays out this franchise tag? I'm going to say that's going to be hard to believe, that Dak is just going to forget all this and be like, oh yeah, now that I've had to prove myself for 5 years, basically, I would love to stay here. Let's assume that there's a chance Dak gets plucked somewhere else, especially with a team maybe up there in one of those small states up in the East that has a lot of money next year.
Is Andy Dalton the future of the Dallas Cowboys?
I do not believe that is the case, but I mean, there's a lot to pan out here. They have until July 15th to work that out. Will they? I'm not sure. This could be detrimental for the next 10 years for the Dallas Cowboys. Is Dak your guy or not? They will find out.